welcome all the folks. We understand a lot of folks from Harbor View. I wonder why. I wonder why so much Harbor View people logging in. I wonder why. Is it because somebody coming on is from Harbor View? All the Harbor View massive good afternoon to you. Good morning. Let me do a quick roll call before we join our guest of honor. In the house out of Harbor View, Cousin Ali, Yanash, Amazing Grace, Bev Light, Big Sid, Fuzzy, Chas, Atom, Errol B, Gary C, Gil Pele, John, Jax, Jerome, Lady Han, Marjorie K, Miguel, Nids, Tammy, Top Chick, Vintage Lover, Bingo Woman, Momo, and all the folks in the undercover room, welcome. Again, we say welcome to all the Harbor View massive. This is our first real chat for 2021, and it is indeed a pleasure. I gotta get in touch with you, I don't understand how my thing changed upon me here. I'm now having me up the top and then Wayne. Anyway, it's good to have the guests big. Yeah? So let me say good afternoon and welcome. No, we need to unmute Wayne here. All right, let me see. Wayne, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I can. How you doing, man?
Brother. Hey, listen, man. me and this man go as far back as, oh gosh.
71 or 72, I think it is.
Yes, I think about 72, around about that time.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the while, this is a man that is responsible for me learning about radio. And you know, Wayne worked at RG, as you all know. And Wayne used to do the overnight shift. So I live on Montclair, and Wayne live, what that road you live on there, Wayne?
Where in Harbor View, it was on Windy Way.
No, not Harbor. We're talking about
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Oh yeah, it was Beverly Hills Drive. Yeah.
Beverly Hills Drive. So yeah. I work at Pegasus. I finished working at 12 o'clock, and Wayne finished work, I think, about 2 o'clock on RGR. So there are times that when I left work, I would go and pick up Wayne. But the person who is supposed to relieve Wayne probably come late. And what happened is that Wayne tired and Wayne to run. Go and go run some music until the man come. So while y'all there listen RGR and you hear Wayne Chin said it, and me I play now. And Wayne teach me everything about the board. And that came in so helpful because when I came to live in South Florida, I got a job at WEDR. And there's the guy there, he didn't like Caribbean people too tough. So I was supposed to go on the Sunday. And I was told to go down there the Saturday so he could teach me about the board and everything. I walked in and he looked at me and said, that's for the mic, that's for the turntable, that's for that. And he walked out the studio. And I was like, oh hell. So the following day I went on, and at the end of my show, Jerry Rushin, who was the general manager, called to inquire who was this man. And he was telling him, I want my staff to start running really like this guy because I was so tight, there was no dead or anything. And that's because Wayne Chin used to show me how to run the board in RGR. So I always have to say thanks to my brethren. And I go off in that long story and I say, TMC family, welcome my article brethren, Mr. Wayne Chin. Wayne, what go on?
Well, there's well, it's a funny thing about those days, some of the times when you don't start leaving for a couple of hours. What happened? I wanted to go to a party.
I didn't mind, bro. I didn't mind. That was my school.
I know.
And of course, the first commercial I ever did, I don't know if you remember this. Wayne was the one that worked on it. Myself and a guy named Neville Lynn put on Berry Salmon in Caesar's Palace. Mm-hmm. And I had to make a commercial that they played at Harbor View Drive-In. Took me about 4 hours to do the 30-second commercial. Wayne was responsible for that too. So this man is responsible for my career.
Well, put it this way, we were not only colleagues, but we're brethren.
Yeah, man.
Brethren.
Best friend.
In the highest form of brethren.
Yes, man.
I mean, if we didn't talk for 30 years, the next day we talk is like a last week we talk to.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we're going to go back now to the early beginning, because this is real chat time with us. We're going to talk about everything. It's not an interview where I ask you one question, ask one question. In the story of Wayne Chin, where were you born?
I was born in Spanish Town, actually, right in front of the prison over there.
Okay.
Spanish Town Hospital.
So you come from prison over.
Hey, there you go. And I moved to Harborview in 1962 on the day of Independence. Independence Day, I moved to Harborview.
Mm-hmm.
So when I reached there, it was almost finished building up. They had very few places that weren't built yet. Like shopping center didn't build up as yet. Harborview School didn't build as yet. I was going to like St. Benedict's school and the church. I was even an altar boy.
What?
Yeah, man.
Oh, they made a mistake away.
Well, the funny thing is, back in those days, when you go to church, young ladies used to like altar boys.
Okay.
So what better way to get involved?
And I know how you used to love the young ladies.
There you go. And especially when you wear that red cassock.
Yes.
On special day like Eve, what do you call it again? When you Christmas Eve, novenas, things like that. Oh man, when you serve any of those mass, you are the bomb.
Oh man, now I know the secret, brother. It took me a long time, but now I know it.
Yeah. What else can I? Well. I started working at RJR in 1973, thanks to Winston Redgard. Funny story how I went to radio stations. Myself, Augustus Pablo, Hugh Mondell, and Jacob Miller, and a couple other guys. We used to hang out at is it BG's or BG's? GG's?
GG's.
The record store on a bit down from Aquarius.
Yeah. Yes. KG's.
There you go.
Yeah.
KG's. Of course, I only go there because there was the daughter.
Hey, wait, confession is good for the soul. You hear me?
I know. But the whole point was being as I was trying to get into the music business and stuff, and Augustus Pablo was the only one who seemed to really care about the people around him, like myself, Jacob Miller, Hugh Mondell, them kind of stuff. And he said to me one day, he said, we have a record out and we're not getting an airplay at all. We need somebody to start working at a radio station. So myself, I think Jacob, but because Hugh Mondell was just a baby like. We went to JBC, put in an application. Of course, JBC turned me down. Went to RJR, I went both places. RJR called me afterwards. I went in, and Winston Redgard sat down and interviewed me. But listen, I was so nervous that I just talked like crazy. So, on every question Winston asked me, a whole bunch of other stuff came out. So he said, listen, I'll get in touch with you. I'll get in touch, I'll let you know what's up. So for 2 weeks, I didn't hear anything at all from RJR. And I'm on my bended knees now because I really want to get this job because we need our record to start playing. Anyway, it so happened that I decided to call him to find out what's going on. When I called this young lady, Mr. Redgard's secretary, her name was Lawrence, May Lawrence, I think it was. And she said to me, we've been trying to reach you for the past week and a half. Where have you been? You're lucky you called. No, because if you didn't call, we were going to move on to the next person. So I went in, did the final interview, and they sent me a package with medical and the whole works. And then I started working at RJR. So for the 3 months, they I was taught by Linford Anderson and Brian Thomas. Now, Linford Anderson, when you work with him, you have to really look good because he was so fast. Anyway, I got through, and then I started. And of course, I know the next question you probably want to ask is how the Winching Say came about.
No, but before I go to that, I just want to explain something to the listeners, because a lot of listeners here, the younger one, really don't know old-time radio. They see radio now. They see me sitting here, and I'm playing the music, and I'm doing everything. But old-time radio was not like that. Old-time radio, the announcer didn't do nothing. The announcer sit and talk. So then you have the operator who was in another room with a big glass between them. And he was the one that do everything. He played the music. And it was, you know, the work of like a song is playing and the announcer want to get it play again. And he would put his hand on his head to take it from the top. And so that's what Wayne Chin was doing. He was an operator in the beginning at RGR. So for the younger folks who don't understand radio, how radio came about, this is how it came. This is how what Wayne used to do at RGR. So two of the hottest thing in Jamaica in the 70s was Errol Thompson and JBC having a little duck called Squeaky. That Errol Thompson used to use Squeaky and cuss people. So he would have Squeaky and he squeeze Squeaky, quick, quick, and Errol would say, Squeaky, where you say the Prime Minister, idiot? And he would go, squeak, squeak. I said, but Squeaky, you can't say that. Squeak. And the following day, everybody on the street would say, you know, hear what Squeaky said last night? Nobody ever said Errol saying no. And then the biggest other thing is, everywhere in Jamaica you go, all you could hear is, dong, wenching say, man who rides on dilly-dally end up in hospital trolley. Wenching say, man who goes to bed with itchy bottom wake up with smelly finger. How did that come about, Wayne?
Well, you know, okay, well, it's a funny thing. After we start, I start with a lot of jingles and stuff like that. And, you know, because why the announcers alone should get that accolade? What happened to us? And of course, as a show person, I started to do all kind of crazies. But how the Winching Say actually came about was a friend of ours had a party in Red Hills. And none of us were driving at the time, except for one friend of ours who were driving. And he was driving a Mini Minor. Can you imagine 7 people going in a Mini Minor?
Yes,
There were actually 7 of us in the Mini Minor. It wasn't like those hatchbacks, so the back would open and 2 people sit inside here. 3 people sit in, 2 people and then 3 people. Anyway, the thing about it, no, I was in the middle doing the gear because the person have to be sitting sideways to drive the car. I think it was 8 of us, you know, I don't remember. Anyway, when we reached to the party, everybody's so happy to get out of this car. Well, I get out and the guy who was driving forget the key in the car. So we go on to the party now, and 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when we're ready now to come down. I had to go work that morning also. When we came out, no car. And we are saying, but we park right here. So anyway, apparently we come to the conclusion, yeah, seal it. So now we need a phone for calls. And I had to go to work. So we started walking down Red Hills. And of course, you know, the dog them start to...
Yes.
And then we throwing the stones at the dog, and the dog running down the stone. So, of course, you know, anyway, while we're going down now, one of my friends look at me and says, all right, so what Confucius said? And I said, and I thought about it, and because I know walking, I said, well, man who leaves keys in car become pedestrian. And listen, everybody just burst out, and I said, so funny enough, reached down, went on a bus, went down to Linden, to Crossroads, and run down to RJR from Crossroads.
Wow.
Yeah, because the time was getting no. I even reached late. But anyway, when I went in, Greg Wilmot was the one who was working. And I said, Greg, listen, do me a favor. When you go on there, just say, wait and say, man who will leave keys to car become pedestrian. And say, why, what happened? And I related the story. Anyway, he went on and he just said, well, you know, my engineer just said he went to this party and went and say, man who leave keys in car become pedestrian. Listen, that telephone lit up to the max. And I said, wait a minute now, I have something here. So now I started reading news and all those things. But the second one that I actually came out with, at that time now, I'd bought a bike. And you know, Crossroads is where all the Holy Childhood and the St. Jude's and the
Walmarts, Alpha.
everybody just congregate out there. Of course, you know, we have a brand new bike now and want to show off a little bit, you know. So went out to Crossroads and, you know, getting palaver off now. But, you know, the oil, the gas oil from the bus,
Yeah.
slick the road. I mean, I come down and I'm dilly-dally, you know, Burke. Let me tell you, one time when I got like buff, the bike went that way and I went that way. So I'm in the street and of course, you know, all the young ladies, oh my God, and everybody run around and they start look at. So she kind of feel away now. So I just close my eyes, keep steady. So, you know, the police come, they took the bike over to the thing and they call the ambulance and the ambulance come and as soon as we reach in the ambulance, as soon as we get on the road, I just stop them and say, yo, everything cool. I said, no, we have to carry. I said, no, you have to carry. I'm just come out of the thing. And that is how Manu Bill Dolly end up in the hospital trolley now. That was the big hit.
Right.
And we just move on from there, you know. Yeah.
And you did some fantastic one. Wayne, correct me if I am wrong in saying this, because I say it all the time. And back in the early days of radio, if you were not like a Coxsone who bought his own time or a Jukri that bought his own time, a lot of reggae music was being played and radio because the powers to be was the expatriate who, it was mostly country and western and foreign music, and
exactly
they had looked down and reggae music as a ghetto thing that they didn't want to deal with. So here comes Pluto and Ken Lazarus. Now between you
and Ernest Smith, yeah.
Now my memory serves right between you working overnight at RGR and Mikey Campbell.
Mikey Dread,
at JBC. And you guys just start to play a whole lot of reggae music. You were riding Channel 1 and Joe Gibson and people like crazy. And that's how
and
reggae
Coxsone.
Music. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, is that the story?
Actually, it's a little deeper than that. At one point, there was a friendly rivalry between myself and there was a friendly rival between me and Mikey J. What was happening is that I started playing some reggae music and then he started to play much more. So I step up my game also. But the biggest thing that happened out of that is that I got suspended from work because of that. One night, I came in at 12 o'clock. This was a Friday going into a Saturday, yes. It was the night before David Vernon came on. And at 12 o'clock in the night, Burke, young people still up. Mm-hmm. The first record I saw was Faster Popetti. And I said, really? The second song I saw was Boots Rondolph and his 101 Strings. So I looked down the bottom of the list now and I saw it was Dr. Dean who had picked the music. And I said, oh, no wonder.
Wait, give me 1 second. Let me just explain, because we go along for the younger folks so you can understand. When Wayne Chin is saying that the first record is Saw, the second record, each radio station have a record library. And the librarian were people who pick the music and give them to play. So it wasn't a case where the announcer or the operator picking the music. So he go to work, he get his playlist, and that's what he's talking about. So continue the story, Wayne.
Right. So I said, hell no. Not on my watch. So I put the record in the discard bin. There's a bin. What was happening, a lot of records was being missing. So they gave us a bin that when you finish your job, when you finish your show, you put that into the discard bin. The next day when I check, if any record missing out there, then you know you're in problem. Anyway, it just so happened I said, nah. And I went into my locker. Now, remember I had this set called Dub Symphony and Soul Symphony. Depends on where we're playing. If we're playing Uptown, it's Soul Symphony. If we're playing Downtown, it's Dub Symphony. Myself and Jeffrey Brown and another good friend of ours, he has a thing called Star Wars or Ozzy Chung. So we used to, and Peter Seal, we used to play out. Oh, I gotta tell you about that way back before I even started working at RJ. Anyway, when we got all of these music now, and then we start playing. So I took the records out, put them in the discard, went into my locker, took out a massive amount of dub plate, because at that time now, being you work at a radio station, you're still one of them radio DJ guys. So listen, I need some dub. I said, no problem. And I had a massive of Treasure and Studio One dub plate. I mean, because they just give it to you. And that night I started to play, and you get carried away. you don't go back to any of the foreign music. It's just strictly rubber dub music, and then the phone just start, and then the more the boost me, the more I start playing. So the next day, the Monday morning when I came, they sent out a memo to me that they would like to, Mr. Rigard would like to see me. So I went to Mr. Rigard the Monday morning after I came off work, and I said, I understand you need to see me, sir. He said, yes. What happened on Friday night? No, that passed and gone. So I have no clue or idea what I'm talking about. And I said, I work and I went home. That's about it. No. What happened to the music on Friday? And then it hit me. So, no, I'm saying to myself that these people are not going to stay up at them time of night to listen to me record, whatever the case may be. But anyway, apparently a few people complain, older folks. Anyway, I said, well, Mr. Rigard, apparently they made a mistake and didn't put out my records. So I had to fill the records. And said, well, we're going to have to go explain that to the managing director, which is Richard DePaz. So we went up into his office. Now, when you go to Mr. DePaz's office as a tech or whatever you are, there's either two things going to happen. Three things, actually. You're either going to get a raise and a promotion, you're going to get suspension or fired. No, yeah. I know I just started not too long working there, so there's no way I can get any kind of promotion. So I said, oh, man. Anyway, we went up. He asked me to explain, and I started to explain. So I said, so where did you get those records? At that time, no, because of me and Mikey Dread doing our thing, they started to have a list where they put reggae music that came in. And trust me, the ones they put in the list was too nice. It wasn't, And they said, well, you have to play from this top part, this 40 chart. They put records in there and it has to go on rotation. So every DJ that come on, they have 2 or 3 of those in their rotation. Anyway, so I said to him, well, what had happened is that I took off the music off the rack and was playing them. So he said to me, yes, but are any of those records on that rack? I said, what I did was play the flip side. Because the flip side is dub, is instrumental, and he said, so I said, Mr. Red Guy, hold on a minute.
So Mr. DePaz, you have a clue what go on, right?
but DePaz said to me, well, should we go for the ear check tape and let us go through those music one by one and then tell me where on the list these are? So I said, no, sir, we don't have to do that. He said, well, I'll tell you what. I understand you're going on vacation next week. In the next 2 weeks. I said, yes, sir. Okay, well, take extra 2 weeks. However, that's without pay. And that was the first time I got, and that was just for playing 5 hours of non-stop reggae.
Yeah.
And dub. That's that.
That wake up Jamaica because, wow. And then we the party people, we were going to party and going home and listening radio at the time. So, you know what I mean? We had 2 stations, RJ and JBC. So we loved it. But the guys from Uptown didn't like that. I'm sure if you had played 5 hours of Pluto and Tomorrow's Children and Ken and Byron, it would be a problem. Those
were on the 40 record list where you choose from. And, remember, it's a Harbour View I come from, so we have appreciation for all kind of music.
Yeah.
Mostly reggae music and dub, you know what I mean? Because in Harbour View, every little street had somebody who had some kind of sound system.
One of your co-workers just log on, your old co-worker, Rita. She said, Mr. The Paz was a dangerous man. Rita just log. You remember Rita?
Yeah, but why she's a dangerous?
It was a dangerous man.
Well, the funny thing, I tell you, one of the reasons why I have this good feeling toward Mr. DePaz, even though he suspended me 4 times. The third time after,
you got suspended 4 times, Wayne?
Yeah, but the third time is supposed to be automatically you get fired. But thanks to Winston Rigard, and I must lift my hat to that dude, because Winston Rigard really, he knows talent, because everybody that he brought into that place brought something to the table. The other day when he came to the US, I saw him and I said to him, why did you actually hire me? Because when I look back on the interview, if I was doing the interview, I just said to come out of my office. And he said his job was to see something in people that nobody else saw. And after talking to you, I realized that I had something here, but a little rough, but we could polish it. So basically, that was. So what were we talking about again? I see, lost my thoughts.
We were talking about the reggae music being played on radio, and we just want the world to know, we want history to know, because sometimes the people that write in the history forget this part of it. Because I hear somebody the other day on radio down here, because I say it all the while, and he said, well, people that tell lie, reggae music is always playing on radio. I said, what? You who used to play pure Yankee music? I said, the only time reggae music was playing on radio, when a lot of real reggae music, I'm not saying Pluto and Earn and them are not real reggae music, I mean the real roots rock reggae music, is when Coxsone by them time, which Winston Williams used to do, and I'm not sure who used to do Treasure All Time. Marigat used to do Treasure All Time?
No, not Treasure. Marigat used to do the Coxsone.
Did Winston Williams do Cox at one time too?
Yeah, Coxsone had a young generation,
Okay, I know what happened here. I think he bought time at JBC and bought at RGR. So Murray was at RGR and Winston was at JBC. Do you remember who used to host for Treasure Isle, that My Mother's Eye?
I think it was Charlie Babcock.
Oh man, did you work with Charlie?
Yeah, he was from Canada. Yeah, when I went there, he was there for a good 3 years. before he left and went back to Canada.
Wayne, that must have been a riot with you and Charlie Babcock working together, because he was just the craziest radio announcer then.
Well, he and Marie were co-hosts at the time when I went there, and listen to those. Sometimes you wondered, what the hell? I mean, and they feed off each other. It was unusual. I've never seen that. I guess they clicked together. That's why Winston Regard put them together. Yeah. So. But
we have to again. We want to say hello to all the Harborview people in the house. I didn't know that Miss Beverly Lightburn was from Harborview also. Harborview people, hello there. Yeah, Charlie Babcock, the live jive with the cool fool with the live jive.
And you also had Tony Virtue, which Tony Virtue and Dr. Dean was not fans of mine. That much I can tell you.
Okay. But when you look back on the golden days of radio, Wayne, with Murray Garth, Dr. Dean, Tony Virtue, Neville Willoughby.
Oh no, he was a giant.
Ralston McKenzie. What was like radio in those days for you?
Well, the funny thing is that before I went there, I was in awe of these people. But after going there, Marie God was like a real sweetheart to everybody there. I mean, it's very few times I've seen her upset. Erica Allen, who read news.
Oh yeah.
I had a little crush on that lady. But she was very stern. But there was something nice about her. And then you had Megan Thomas.
Yes.
Yes. Megan Thomas, yeah. She was another people's person, you really had some nice people working there. And then Winston William and Jackson.
Can't leave out Desmond Chambers?
No, Desmond Chambers came in a little.
After you?
No. When I was there, he had left RJR.
Oh, and gone up the road.
And then something happened with Alan Magnus, and they gave him the morning show. And this is where we got to know each other. He was cool. But boy, him love Mr. Neville and him, Mr. J and him Neville them.
we talk about that. But look, when you look on radio then, Wayne, compared to radio today, because people like me who chat so bad couldn't go up on radio in Jamaica them days, because you have people who get suspended for. I remember them suspended Ratliff Butler, who played a slow music one day and said, "This is pure raw soul," and he got suspended for that. I remember Desmond Chambers doing a race at Sabina Park, and the name of the horse was Rotted. And when they came around the corner, Rotted was leading, and Desmond Chambers said, "And it's Rotted today with a Rotted race," and he got suspended. And you look at how serious radio was back then compared to today.
You know something? It is very serious because we were going off of a British and Australian standard, which I fight every step of the way, and that's the reason why I was probably called one of the rebels in our job. However, as I said before, I was lucky enough to have a program director like Winston Regard, because if it wasn't for him, they would have fired me long time ago. So, I have to tell you this. I remember about 2 years after I started working there, I got a letter from a young lady, said that she was my baby's mother. And, I must send money because of, she can carry him to court and everything. And I'm saying, what? So I got really worried, because I said, what the hell is this? Went to Mr. Regard and I said, Mr. Regard, how do I go about deal with this now? Should I call a lawyer? So he read it and said, oh, no, that only meant that you have reached. What do you mean you have reached? I said, well, if you didn't get any of these, I'll be worried. And it took me aback, and I couldn't understand why he was saying that. So I went to Marie and I explained to Marie, and Marie said, no, Wayne, that's what is happening, that you're going to have some crazy folks outside here. and people are going to be using your name outside here with other girls. So some of those people, case in point, one day I came to work, and Miss Perkins, this is when she was the writer of Dulcimina, the creator and the writer of Dulcimina.
Right.
And I used to do record those programs with her. All of us did, but that week was my week. And when I went in, when she came in, she said to me, she said, "Wayne, I'm ashamed of you." Okay, why would you be ashamed of? What have I done? She said, "I never thought you'd be somebody like that." And I said, "Somebody like what?" "Well, you go outside and you'll see." But she was very serious, so I went to the desk and I said, "Is something here for me?" Or something. She said, "Yes. That lady out there to say, this girl had a baby now." So I went outside and I said, "Are you here to see me?" She said, "No, I'm here to see Wayne Shin." So I said, "But I'm Wayne Shin." "No, not you. I'm talking to the operator one." I said, "Oh, okay." Because I was too nervous even because so I went down and said, "Mrs. Perkins, that person, I have no clue who I was and whatever the case may be. So I don't know what you're talking about." She said, "Well, she apologized," which cool of her, but those are some of the things. The other good things about the radio station was on Sundays when we used to work and you get hungry and there was no place open, and the people in the kitchen staff didn't come to make food for us like what they do during the week, tea or whatever the case may be. And I was working with Ralston McKenzie that day, and Ralston said, "Wayne Chin is here and he's hungry." At that time I used to eat chicken. So, today's Sunday, why somebody don't just bring some rice and peas and chicken for Mr. Chin? I never even take it serious because, I thought he was just being funny and make a joke. Listen to me. Within 2 hours, there were 3 people outside with rice and peas and chicken. And I'm saying, so that was the power of radio.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's not like that. And as you were talking about how you speak on the radio and everything like that, as I said, we were under the auspices of the British and the Australian way of doing things. And as I said before, I was never for that because I couldn't even speak. The announcers couldn't even speak like they're speaking to their own people, and I thought that was wrong.
One other thing you said a while ago, Wayne, though, is that how radio's change and why things like that happen, that people bring food for you, is that then we had personality on radios.
Yes.
We have what they call robo radio now, where they just put the record on. You have a man who lives in Texas and he programmed the radio for 50 different states. And they're telling you, you open the mic at the top of the hour, you can't talk for more than 2 minutes. So it's like, "Hey, this is TMC, Best in Music, good afternoon," and it's finished.
Yeah.
Back then, we had personalities in radio that reach out to the people, that can communicate with the people, that get people involved in what they're doing. And that's a big difference between then and now. Let's take back a little bit to your sound days, your creative thing, that when you're uptown, you cater for the uptown people. You're downtown, you cater for the Dub Symphony and Soul Symphony.
Dub Symphony and Soul Symphony, yeah. You see, that was my entrepreneurship, where we used to play like in like Harborview, in all the uptown places and stuff. And what would happen when you went to Dub Symphony, when you tell them that you're Dub Symphony, they say, "What? Hell no, we don't want any of that stuff up here." Yeah. So I changed it now to Soul Symphony. So when I went to these people to play, it was called Soul Symphony. And when we go out and play, as a matter of fact, I didn't even select any of the records. It was like Jeffrey Brown or Ozzy Chung, simply because I was a face, so I go there and you know act like
Okay,
the
okay,
boss.
okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Let's get
Yeah.
this straight. You were too busy with the girls to be out there selecting record. All right, come, we're friends now. You know, you you were too
Yeah.
busy with the girls. I know you, Wayne. Thank God you have changed. So the wife of a
Yes.
nice man who has
Yes.
been so faithful to his wife for how many years? How many years in married now, bro?
38
30
actually.
years. Yeah,
38.
I remember when you met your wife, man. Yeah.
Yes. Uh, just a little before that, we had a sojourn to Caribbean villas,
Wait, you know what,
and
brother?
and please don't bring that up.
No, no, no. But you know what?
Mhm.
I was gonna I took out the albums last night
Oh,
and I was gonna scan some of the pictures and put up, but I say, you know what? Let that stay.
let's sleep in dog lives.
Let that
Yeah,
stay. But I found some nice pictures of Rosal in Takan that weekend when we were at Caribbean Village. Yeah, those were the nice days, man. Those were
yeah,
the good
yeah.
days. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that as friends, we used to travel to a lot of places and a lot of venues, which was every now and then I look back on those days, and not because it's that far down that side and that side. Well, it's still sometimes you're driving and you remember you see something that catch your eye and it bring you back to that memory, and you know, especially your Lotus.
Oh, my fast car.
Yeah. Especially that. Oh, folks, if you should know, you see me driving on the road and I'm driving bad, you know who started that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, because this man say he's gonna teach me to drive his car, put me on the car and say that is the clutch, that is the green, and this is the brake. Go, huh? What? What? Yeah, yeah, just pushing that and turn that and oh man, and
I wasn't a good teacher, right?
I didn't say that.
That's the same thing I did with Jacob Miller, you know.
Yeah,
Jacob learned to drive off my purple Cortina. And sometimes after I teach Jacob a couple lessons, him take the car, I'm gone with the car. You know? But you know that way material things didn't mean nothing to us. You know what I mean?
you know,
So, you know.
and that was one of the things that I always remember about because there was nothing that we wanted that we couldn't have if each of us had it.
Yeah.
There was never a time that I've never seen or come to think of it, we have never had any argument ever.
Never.
I just realized that.
Never. Never.
And then at the time you had a beautiful lady, and the beautiful lady had a beautiful sister.
Oh boy. I hope the wife not listening. Well, that is long gone. Because there are some people who get very, very jealous of the past. But we all have past life. And
Every
this
one
was
of us have
long
past.
before time. But there's some women that, and men too. A man getting a relationship with a woman who used to date before. Forget that. That was then.
Yeah.
We're talking about now. So yeah, we had some good. We're talking here to Mr. Wayne Chin, and we're talking about the early days of sound system of RGR, and we're gonna step up to the band days. But I want to go back a little bit to RGR because you create such a thing at RGR, and again I said this way in that a lot of time when people write the history book, they don't know the true history. We say IRA FM came up, and IRA FM was the biggest thing in reggae music. But it was IRA FM that started pushing reggae music. And a lot of the artists today who getting those exposure should be saying thanks to people like you and the late Mikey Campbell for your contribution.
Exactly. Yeah. As I said before, he and I had a friendly rivalry because even after some of our shows, we'd go hang out with each other. And when people see us, they say, but, no, we're friends.
Yeah.
Nothing of the sort, which was cool. But I have to say though, Tough Gang. I'm not talking about Bob Marley's record. The engineer for Joe Gibbs, Errol.
Errol, yeah.
Yeah, he had a set called Tough Gang in Harborview. and we used to people like him. We used to go out and listen to King Tubby. As a matter of fact, how I actually got the idea of doing all of those crazy stuff on the air, I must give credit to this person, which was he had run. He died the other day. Oh Lord, oh, can I remember? Yes, he was running turntable.
Winston Blake.
Vincent, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I went there one day, and he's in the place playing his record, and all of a sudden I hear all kind of bongos, and I said,
Yeah,
"What?"
yeah. That was Winston. Yeah.
So I went and looked inside there, and him sitting and said, "We ain't chain walk on." We said, "What are you doing?" He had drums. He had all kind
Percussion,
of,
all kind of stuff. Yeah.
playing and shake, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Again, so I went back to the station and got some more jingles, and then now this I must say, there's another thing that we created in a friend rivalry amongst the engineers, which was like myself, Raymond Marshall, Brian Thomas, and Andy Cap, because we all brought something to the table where. Because of the sound effects and everything, all of us had some kind of sound effects. So, but I must say, because I was doing it, and it started to bring recognition to me, all of the others started to do it. And there's two things I must also say. One, that scratching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scratching was started in Jamaica in 1970, where myself and Raymond Marshall used to do these things on air, simply because how it started, I made a mistake. I was queuing up a record and it was on the air. And Toppin said to me, what are you doing? I said, "Oh, no, it's a new thing." What? Don't do that. Don't do that. It's all right. But when I'm working in the nights by myself, though,
Yes.
I started to do this, and it started to sound good and everything. Raymond came in now and did and top it up by playing the two records. It's like how they play the records and I rewind back and start. That was been happening in 1974 and 1975. The only reason why we had stopped, because Mr. Redguard again came down and called me one morning after we heard, said, "Mr. Chin, do you know how much those needles cost?" I said, "But what is going on, sir? I haven't broken any needles." I said, "No, but
Not
what
yet.
you're doing on the air is not professional. One, number two, if any of those needles are broken, you're gonna have to pay for it out of your pocket. Not only that, the records are being scratched, so you cannot scratch the records like that. That's not what it was made for." you know. And then they drop Raymond also. What are you doing? Why are you playing the same record in different times and stuff like that? So he had to stop. So we, Raymond Marshall and myself, were the ones who created these things.
You guys were way ahead of your time. You talk a lot about Winston Ridgard. I know that you had another good friend down at RGR, which was Al Plummer.
Oh, Plummer, well, Plummer was our supervisor.
Yeah.
So and he, what nice about Mr. Plummer is that he also enjoyed the rivalry,
Hmm.
and he would come and say, "Hey, you know, Raymond did this today. What sounded very good." So he
I challenge you to go do it now, right?
tells me to do something now to up
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And so he would come around, and so Plummer was cool. I never had a problem with Plummer. Uh, I know a lot of people probably had problem, but as I said before, they sort of bring out the best in you, especially. And when you're doing rivalry with your colleagues, it's not something that you get upset or mad over.
It's fun.
Is that, yeah? And the other thing is that dead air.
Oh,
Ooh,
oh.
if it just if even a second pass with a dead ear, that phone ring immediately. So you have to be real fast. Yeah, so that is why we kept up that pace.
We had a conversation this week. I was trying to explain. We had a Stats is having a fundraiser coming up, and the lady who's kind of in charge of it was telling, I'm gonna be the MC, and the guys playing said, guys, listen, please no dead ear. I said, lady, you don't even have to say that a second time, because that's the biggest sin in radio. Dead ear. The man will tell you, listen, 10 seconds, that's money. So, we
10
understand.
seconds, that's a whole year.
That should not say that, yeah, that's a long time. Wayne, I'm going to put you on the spot by asking you to tell me, and this might be very hard. Name it three of the top announcers that you have worked with. What your favorite and why you enjoy work with them. Just three, and I'm going to get along.
Well, David Vernon David Vernon, Carlton Sinclair.
Oh man, I forgot that guy. Wow.
And Marie Garth, and enjoyed. And Toppin, you had to be on your game when you're working with Toppin, God. That dude works real fast. And that's why he was number one for several years, So, but all of them, listen, I enjoy working with all of them. But the most inspirational ones were Ralston McKenzie and Marie Garth. They were the one who, if you had a problem and you say to them, they would sit down and talk to you. Marie Garth was like big sister.
When we look back on radio back then, radio has created things in our mind that, like, for example, on a Sunday in Jamaica back then, you'd never, ever hear a reggae music. And today, if you play a certain music, if you play a Skeeter Davis, if you play a Patty Page, if you play a Jim, the first thing people say, I play Sunday music.
Well, what they did was they had specifically told us not to play any kind of not upbeat, but party music. So that's why when I saw those records that Dr. Dean had picked for me to play that Friday night, that was definitely not party music, and that's the reason why I got suspended. But anyway,
how many times get suspended, Virgin? 4 times.
4 times. Okay, the second time, they had a Miss Jamaica pageant going on, and then in Trelawney they was doing the Miss Trelawney down there. Inner Circle was playing with Jacob Miller and everything, and I said, "Come down, man." So I was supposed to come up the following day, the Sunday morning, to go do the Miss Perkins program, Dulcimina. But what happened is that we went down, did the thing, and they decided that some decided to come back. And of course, I wanted to meet some of the contestants.
Yes.
And we end up that I couldn't leave that night, so I had to leave early the next morning. The next morning, when I wake up, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm supposed to be at work from 11.
And you're in Trelawney.
I'm in Trelawney. Anyway, I finally call in and tell him to listen. I'm in St. Mary. I came up and it rained, and because it was so funny that while we were in the room, and I wonder what the hell, how I can get out of this now. There was some thunderstorm in St. Mary, and they had some washout thing. So I just called him and said, listen, the phone were down and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, went in back and Mr. DePaul said, but there are police stations in that neck of the wood. And I said, yeah, but what would I need with a police station? They're not going to come and carry me to. I said, no, they have radios.
Well, Mr. DePaul will let you get with nothing, boy.
No. When you in a situation like that, you go to the police station, because there's a police station somewhere around there. Yeah. They will radio in the city, and the city will. I said, but I didn't know that. He said, well, now you know. However,
take 2 weeks.
2 weeks
without pay.
Yeah.
Wayne Chin is my special guest, Real Chat. So tell us now, Wayne, when did the singing bug hit you? Because you start out playing sound, tricking the people, and with the same sound, I play Uptown Soul Symphony and Downtown Dub Symphony. You RGR, you run things there, the Wayne Chin say. But then I remember my brethren start singing. How did that come about?
Actually, I started before all of that.
Really?
As I said, I was with Augustus Pablo. We were doing stuff, but because none of the records were being played.
Okay.
So I had forgotten my dream for a bit because of the excitement at the radio station. And then now in 75, I decided that, no, it's time I get back into this thing. And I got a group of guys together. And we came up with China Africa. Mm-hmm. After the first record that we put out, when the record came out, I saw Creole. I said, what the hell? So I called Jojo. It was a child one. I said, Joe, who is it? Is my voice on the record? Why you have somebody? He said, no, that's your new name. I said, my new name? I said, no. What do you mean? So, China Africa didn't sound like a reggae band. I said, well, that's the whole point. Well, you can't change. Anyway, we let it go and Jack Creation. That was the first
song,
record out, yeah. And then, but I did records before, but it didn't make it to the point where it would come out. I also did album for Aquarius, where I actually got real strings and orchestration behind it. Those kids came from not Edna Manley. She came from a Jamaica School of Music. Mm-hmm. So and listen, when I hear them play, man, I got goosebumps.
Wow.
And I did all of that. So, but he Herman didn't release the record at all. I don't know why.
So, but you have music out with Creole and you have music out with China Africa. So you did a song with Channel One. He changed it from China Africa to Creole.
Yeah.
So what were you recording at both times using different names?
No, what I did was after a while I decided no, that's it. I'm not gonna do that Creole stuff anymore. It's China Africa is the name of my group. I'm not gonna change the name. And I changed it back to China Africa. And then when I came to the United States in 1980, I recorded my first album here. I mean, that was released, and it did well in England and in Germany, but here it didn't do all that well. My concerts were sold out, but the record,
man,
yeah,
those concerts. Before we go any further though, let me get some of the names of the guy. I know your keyboard player was that big named Henton.
Oh,
Paul?
No. Paul Henton actually was the bass player at the end.
Yeah.
Computer Paul. Yeah.
Computer Paul, yeah. So who are the members of the band?
When in Jamaica, it was myself. We had a drummer called Fat Albert.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Yeah, he was from the army. But our first drummer was Jones. He played for the school band.
There's a Jones.
Yeah.
There's a Jones. Yeah.
He's the one who played on Jack Creation. So what had happened is that, but I know I'm being killed when I tell you this, but our nickname for him was Butterface. I don't know why. I don't know why, but Butterface was his name, was his nickname. And then after him, when we came out with Tourism is Your Business, Just As Mine, we had the next person, which was Fat Albert, and he was a sergeant in the army. And the horns on Jack Creation was played by Ernest Smith brother, who was also in the army. He brought a couple of his friends. Some of them were big in the reggae business, as Bulby and all these guys, and they actually played on the song. When I went back to Voice Record and I hear the horns, I said, "Oh my God, this song wicked, wicked, wicked!" And that what happened is that a friend of mine knew Ernest Smith Brothers them and stuff, and they asked me if they could come and play that, and I said, "Yeah, but we ain't seen anything, man. I'm a virgin, cause they're from Harborview, too, you know. Ernest Smith them, yeah."
Okay.
And that is how that played on. There's one more thing I want to say. In all my music career, we did a tour with the Jamaica Tourist Board called Forget Me Not, and we played in Ocho Rios. And let me tell you something. I've always remembered that feeling and always tried to recreate it, but it never happened. On the stage, there were 4,000 people in the street, blocked the road so no car can pass or anything like that. And while we're doing our song, all of a sudden the people just look like they're moving up in slow motion. And even me, I'm singing in real time, but it's like I'm hearing it distant. And I didn't smoke anything that day, so I don't know. But I felt so elated, and it was one of the sweetest feelings I've ever felt in my entire life. And when I came off, even one of the person, there was a tourist there, even said to me, "You were in the zone, man. You were in the zone." I said, "The what?" "In the zone. I could tell you were in the zone. I see it." And I said, "Wow, it's a funny thing. I've never felt that feeling again, ever."
We have some of your Harborview people who is telling us some of the people in your band. Philip Termite, Rowan was playing
Philip Rowan, yeah.
And the Chosen.
Eisen Chuck.
Yeah, was playing rhythm.
Yeah, guitar, yeah.
Guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harborview people, them the point up for you, man. Them know what I man.
Well, I bet one of them may be Nolly.
The same one. What Nolly sound the name? Brute force and
ignorance.
Man, name said brute force and ignorance.
But let me tell you.
I wonder if the name that's after Nolly.
Yeah. But you know, when you remember these people from way back when, I mean, it amazes me. And you know, we don't keep in touch too tough, but when we see one another, it's like, yeah, you know. And you know what, that your childhood days, those were the happy times of your childhood days.
You know the only sad thing about those days, Wayne, is that they didn't have videos and things. Because when I remember at a China Africa show, with you coming out in that Chinese outfit, and I mean, like, I can see it, like I said, but you know, we didn't have all that the people have today, so we don't have those kind of thing to look back and say, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys were so way. I mean, when I look at a China Africa performance, I'm saying like a Earth, Wind and Fire or a Parliament folk, you guys just didn't go on stage and stop and play. You gave a show.
Exactly. Listen, I've lost so much weight on stage sometimes that I it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then, but the whole point is, I personally believe if somebody pay good money to come and see you, you know, don't just stand up on the stage and act like you're better than everybody. No, man, give the people a show.
Yeah.
And all the people that I was with in the group was of the same mindset. You know. And as I said, no, Paul Henton was another big person in the group, in a sense where he and Termite were the ones who were the music genius, really. They would orchestrate the music. All I do is just sing. And you know, but that was good. So
I remember hearing a cassette with you, and up to today, you know, I mean, I asked you the other day, and you said, I think Herman have it. You have a cassette with some soul do-over, like some Delphonics and thing, and
yeah, but that's it. That's the one that I did for Herman.
I can't get them tune out of my mind. Them tunes should be on the road.
I don't know why he didn't release it.
Man.
I don't know why he didn't release it. But I think at the time, he and his elder brother were having some kind of a problem, and we just got shuffled. You know who was in that recording also? Home T4. Home T4. This was like in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Home T4. And those guys were really good, you know.
So do you still sing or do you still perform?
I haven't performed, but I still sing. As a matter of fact, I'm finishing up. Well, funny thing that this is about the third year now. I'm supposed to be finishing it, and every time something go down, I have to stop. But this year I'm thinking, because of this Corona thing, I'm mostly working from home and stuff like that. I will consider taking it back, because I'm also on N1M. It's well, my records are on iTunes and also on Amazon and Spotify and all those things. So if you type in the name China Africa, and the China Africa spell it only with one A, it's CHINAFRICA, one word. Then you can hear some of the songs. So these I need to come up with a new thing, because some of my fans, even on Facebook, writing to find out, what the hell, why are you that, you know? And I told them, well, I'm in the studio. Said, how long it take to make an album, boss?
I don't realize, I don't know that. Long time sometime, bro, long time.
Yeah. So for those who listening out for us, yes, I'll try to finish by the middle of this year, that I can put it out and send Burke a copy, make him play it, and hopefully you guys buy it. Because nowadays people don't buy records, you know, they download.
It's download. Yeah. You have been, well, you're still doing the singing, but
Yes.
you know when radio is in your blood, sometimes you can't get it. Like me, you know much time I say, boy, I done this, me finish, me retire, me done. I get pulled back into the internet thing and thing. I know you were on radio in New York.
Yeah.
You and my brethren, Chris.
Mhm.
Chris Hazelhurst, good afternoon to you, sir. Are you still doing radio in New York, or do you plan to do anything on the internet? Because internet is the way to go nowadays. You know,
Well,
what are your plans?
You know, I had a plan like years before all of this blew up. I even said to Chris before, Israel said, let us do this thing. Chris said, no, man, yeah, we do it. And then about a year after that, I heard you on, and I said, look at that. And I even called you and said, Burke, you know, so this is something I want to do. Anyway, what I'm doing now, I'm coming up, if you notice my logo in the back.
Yes.
Yeah. That is my, I'm putting on a internet radio, but it's not going to be like just, you see like, oh, you're there now. It's not going to be that. It's going to be more like entertainment tonight with records and videos. And we're going to have programs in it. As a matter of fact, I might, one of these days, you and I are going to have to sit down and talk. So, and we're going to have several different DJs. Right now, the first program we're going to come out is Health is Here, which is a holistic, is Junior Jawara Blake. He has a health food store, and, you know, a shop where you can go get anything for you. And I'm a firm big believer in herbs and garnishes, things like that. I believe in that kind of holistic medicine instead of them flu shot and them stuff. I'm not a big believer in man-made stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm a vegan, so.
Okay. So you're working on something, and in the near future we're gonna see what is called IRA Music.
IRA Music Entertainment Network.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, man. Remember me, I can do a good show, and I music alone I play, I can entertain too.
But listen, yeah, we have a comedic spot on it, you know. But you know, the funny thing though, it is so good talking to you, man, because we haven't spoken in a while. And it was good talking to you. Oh, speaking of which, one of my other colleagues from RGR was the person you interviewed last year, Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was an announcer at RJR also.
I didn't remember that. When was that?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
remember.
that was in the in late 70s. Not only that, you know who turned me on to Earth, Wind and Fire?
Yeah.
Cheryl Lee
Shirley
Ralph.
Ralph. Okay.
Yes. When she came down, she said, and I was working out with her one night, and she said, you know, Wayne, you know, you, you, I get this vibes from you, and this is listen to this group. And she played "Keep Your Head," not "Keep Your Head to the Sky," "Devotion." That's the song she had played, and I said, "Wow!" The group just hit me all of a sudden. So now I started to listen to more of the music now, and then I came up with "Reasons." Oh my God! When I heard "Reason," that was the anthem for me, boy. Anytime I play it as a Earth and a Fire come on, is Earth
I
is
remember
Reason.
that. That was your song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is my stint with Cheryl.
What a darling she is, man. She is
Oh
such a
yeah,
darling.
yeah,
And the personality, her personality is just out there, bubbly,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. You know, the funny and good thing about her is that after I came up, I haven't seen Cheryl for like enough years, and then she was on this show called the Moesha,
Moisha,
or
yeah.
yeah, and my daughter wanted some, not from her, from one of the kids, wanted an autograph. And I went down there, and I'm saying to myself, so, well, I have not seen Shirley in a while, so she might not even, want to acknowledge me. But I saw her on the stage, and I said, Cheryl, Wayne Chin, and she heard the name, and she turned around and said, oh my God, and she run off, and I said, wow, that's so cool. I knew she was all right, but this seemed just confirm it more. She's a very nice person.
Yeah. Wayne Chin started out in Harborview sound system, operator, announcer, man that create things in Jamaica that people still say. And boy, Wayne, sometime, because I remember you gave me a cassette with all the Wayne Chin say. Man, I don't even know where that cassette. I searched
Oh,
high and low for that cassette and can't find it.
it's a funny thing you said, because I can't even find any of them now. So I would have to redo everything. Redo everything. The other funny thing is, people are dancehall people asking me to make specials with winches,
Wow.
and I said no, Bridget. No.
But the funny thing is that we just we enjoyed what we did so much that we just
Yes.
never take it, say, man, we need to record these things, that we
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
take picture and them things, that we need to do this and do that. Because we were just in it for the love and
I
just
know.
enjoy it. And now we say, damn, man, why we never have
But
a.
the biggest things for me was, and I sat down and think about it. I met people like Michael Jackson and the Jackson Five at work, at the UN. I mean, at the radio station. Al Green, and what's his name again? I think I'll tell her. One man band. Ronnie
Ronnie
Dyson.
Dyson.
Yeah, these guys, and the stylistics, Blue Magic, the Dells. I didn't get to meet the Delphonics until I got here in the US. I know that's your group, but let me tell you, I've seen them lately in Georgia. I went to a show in Georgia where they were on the show with the Delphonics. What you see is what you get, guys. The Dramatics.
Dramatics.
Yeah. That was an awesome show, man. Those guys still have it. I mean, they don't move like as fast and as slick as what, but they still had the voice. But anyway, let me not regress. Yeah. So, those are the artists that I met there at the radio station back home in Jamaica. Met some of the politicians, so yeah. But there's a story about that reggae. See, remember that reggae music we were playing? But I'll tell you about that off air. I don't think it's something we should mention on the.
But isn't it nice though, Wayne, that a little boy born in Spanish Town that just love music and you live your dream that you get to do the things you love. You know, you're playing a band, you're working a radio station, and you get to meet. I mean, to me, one of my greatest joy is taking a picture. I mean, I don't know if you can see that picture on the wall behind me there. It's me and Skeeter Davis, you know, and it's a little boy from Trelawney that love music and grow up and meet all these people. Get to work with Platters and Skeeter Davis and Blue Magic and Stylistics and things. Man, I don't know about other people, man, but that's just my joy. That's just my joy, you know. And I know that's the way you feel because, you know, because of the music and the things you do, you get to meet all these people.
There's another incident that happened in Ocherius that I'll never could forget. And this is when my name had some kind of a pull. We went to do something in Ocherius from the radio station RGR. Third, we're playing that day also in there, and I wanted to see Third World, even though I knew them of sort, but I've never been to one of their concerts. And when I went there, Mr. Ridgard's son Leighton was with. They all came down, and all of us wanted to go see the Third World show. So I'm the only one who's working, so I had money, but you know, so everybody said, yeah, no, but all we want is the show. I said, all right, well, I don't know how we can get, but we can't get in. So Mr. Ridgard's son said to me, Wayne, listen to me, man. You have to understand this. When all of us going to come with you, you're going to go to the guy at the door and tell him who you are, where you work, and tell them that we are with you and we just walk in. And I'm saying, Leighton, really? You think that can happen? Them going to just throw me out of the place immediately. He said, no, man, I'm telling you that will happen, man. Trust me. No, he was about 14 or 15-year-old kid. That's Mr. Ridgard's son. So anyway, I said, hey, let me go try. So we walk up to the door and I said, hey guys, I'm Winchit from RGR. These people are with me and we're going inside. So we start to walk and I'm saying, oh God, they caught me. So yes, the guy did call me. Wayne, Chin, hold on there. So I'm come up and bring a paper. Do me a favor now. You can't send a greeting to them people. I swear this guy was getting thrown out. That was, I mean, you know, that's when I knew, wait, something inside here, you know. That's when I came over with the Winch and say t-shirts after that because, which bad management on my part, I made 100 dozen. They all sold off within a month. And instead of taking the money and buy more t-shirts and do more things, I use that on Ocherius, Montego Bay, Aracabessa. Anyway.
You have the head for music, but not for business.
Not for business.
Yeah. Wayne Chin say, man who rides and dilly-dally end up in hospital trolley. Now you know it's a true story that happened to Wayne in Crossroads. You know
Crossroads.
Show off, bring disgrace.
But I got the opposite effect, though, you know, because the ladies are very sympathetic.
Right, yeah. So you talk about that as true story. You talk about man who left key in a car.
Yes, that was a true. Yeah.
All right, so tell me now, is this a true story? Man who goes to bed with stick problem, wake up with sticky solution.
Man who goes to bed with stiff problem, get up with sticky solution in hand.
Is that a true problem? A true story?
Actually, that was a Confucius saying, you know.
Okay.
But he didn't say it like that. I just put it like that, you know.
A man who goes to bed with itchy problem, with what? Itchy bottom.
A man with bottom get up with smelly fingers.
Smelly fingers.
Yeah, but there was another one that I did, but this was during the time when the Pearl and Panther came out. And we say, man who go with lady and no use Panther, me call him baby father. So, of course, that only lasted a week. Mr. Rigard, Mr. Chin, I'd like you to come to my office, please.
You give Panther free promotion there, man.
Yeah, but it's not only that, it's the innuendos. Yeah.
Yes, we know radio was different then. But Wayne, it's a pleasure to sit down here and reminisce about the good old days. And as I said, one of my main reasons inviting you to kind of let the people know the part that you played in reggae music and radio. Because, especially a lot of these young folks, they don't really know. They get up and then turn on the radio now, whether it's Cool or whether it's RGR, JBC not around, whether that's Irie or it's Zip, and they hear reggae music, but they don't know the struggle that certain people had to go through to get this music on the radio. And where respect is due, respect have to go through.
And no matter what they said, who wants, whatever them say, our kind of reggae music never used to play on the station. So I don't know when they say they used to, that's not true.
Yeah, man. I want to look a boy always go school on North Street, make that statement there, man. But anyway, we're not going to go into that. You think about how a boy used to go North Street, it was big and ready in Jamaica, Because I guess they were ashamed, when I make statement like that. And they're trying to defend themselves. But we all know that back in the days that it's soul music run thing in Jamaica. Whether on radio or the disco, it was soul music that run things. So
and soca.
And soca. I remember hearing story where Bob Marley had to go down to RJ and sit down on the step and rough up radio announcement and go inside for playing music. So we know it's true. So let's just admit it and say, boy, yeah, man. We never used to play that. Play soul music. We used to play on soca, and man like Wayne Chin and Michael Campbell came about and turn the things around. And now, see there, the reggae music now all over the world.
Yeah. But the funny thing about that though, I'd really like us to really not get back, but still promote reggae music in itself. I'm not talking about the sound effects that we're now hearing nowadays. I'm talking about the music, because if you realize reggae music was born out of people who felt oppressed and wanted to say something about it, and then it morphed into lovers rock, which is one of my favorite things. Lovers rock, really love lovers rock. It bring out the true vocal styles of all of the artists, no matter how, or whatever, but they really do sound good, And I notice you have some people doing reggae music these days too, which I was pleasantly surprised. One of them is what's his name again? What's her name? Coffee.
Coffee, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did some, and then you have some Rastafarian females, Princess. I can't remember her name, but every now and then I go and listen to them. And Nadine Sutherland is still doing reggae music.
The sad thing is, Wayne, there's a lot of good reggae music has been played. It's just that we're not hearing it.
On the program, on the radio station that I'm putting on, that's what they're going to hear. They're going to get tired to hear it.
Yeah, because I got to tell you, at one stage, I wasn't even to the new music. Because you have to go through so much garbage to find a good song. I just didn't have the time for that. And I must give props here to my brethren, my little brother Richie B, who is now on a new station in Jamaica called The Edge. And they have a thing they're playing now, global reggae. And Wayne, let me tell you something. The music that is coming out of places like New Zealand, Australia, Hawaii, USA, it's putting the reggae music to Jamaica to shame.
Well, let me see if I can explain that now. What we have thrown down or thrown away,
Yes.
the Europeans and the Americans and the Canadians are picking it up.
Yes.
And they are the one who are marking these products properly.
Yes.
Remember, we didn't have that. We have to do a record for a little man and then get a little small money, and that's it. You know, you don't hear anything more. And then when you play the music on the radio, as a producer, now when you play the music on the radio a whole lot, the artists think they're making some big money, and when you explain to them, say that's not how it works. I'm happy now that we have started to learn marketing and stuff like that. The only thing that we need to do is use that marketing for some of our music too. It's not only one kind of reggae music mode to play, which is dancehall. There's reggae music is reggae music, and dancehall is just a member of that fraternity. Yeah.
All right, my brother, I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out to be with us today on TMC, and want to thank all your Harbor View Massive who came out to see their son, Wayne Shin, from Windy Way, is live on, huh?
Windy Way.
Windy Way, yeah. All right.
Number 6 Windy Way.
Number 6.
Right in front of the shopping center there.
Before we let you go away now, we're gonna play some Creole and China Africa music after that and run a little slideshow with you. But anything else you'd like to say to the folks out there in music land?
Well, just for the people of my era, and the younger ones who are coming up now, just listen to some of the songs back then, and then you can understand the fullness of it. And not all of the songs are jump up. Some of them are conscious music, really conscious music, and that's what we strive for.
My brother, I thank you very much. Give my love to Miss J. And the family. And it's a pleasure to have you here with us today on TMC as we reminisce about the good old days and tell the true story. Of the true story must be told. We now whitewash it. Tell the true
don't
story.
do that. Yeah.
We can't whitewash it.
I'm big up on yourself, Harbor View, because you know go already.
Yeah. and what he didn't tell us, man, Miss Rita here is giving us all the great story and tell us who used to rough up who. She said, you think Bob used to rough them up? Peter Tosh used to rough them up.
Peter, but Peter was a good well, put it this way, one more story. I went to, as a younger person, when I used to go to school, I used to sleep out from school and go down to Randy's Records. They were recording in Randy's record, Soul Rebel. That's when I first met Peter Tosh, because I knew Bob Marley before that. Not as friends, but knew him before because I've been around him before. But when Peter Tosh came into the studio and him see me and him say, "Youth man, come here." No, every time I go to a studio, I've never seen Peter Tosh without a split. I don't know if it was magically to get him, and he was teach me some things on the piano, and him here say more sing and him, and then even later days at RGR, him used to call and say, "Waiting, but I don't hear no record him, wagwan," and then we jump in on some of his songs. But in those days, we used to think of those songs as international songs. It's just so funny how we think as youth. Those were international songs, and the people in the reggae industry in Jamaica, those are the ones that we really wanted to try to push. That's the reason why some of their stuff didn't play. But there's some more stories I can't tell you, but those are off-air stories. Not,
for Ron ears only, not for TMC listeners' ears.
Yeah, with Marley and Peter Tosh. The only one I didn't know well was Bunny. He was never around when I was around. He would never speak to me as such, as some other things doing. But it was mostly Peter Tosh. Peter Tosh was my wheelers. Yeah.
My brother Wayne.
Yes, sir. My respect, sir. My respect.
Thank you very much.
My respect. Yeah.
And I learned that in the Chinese culture, the lower you bow is the more respect.
Yes.
The more you bow. When at the airport, they teach us different culture. So you recognize, because of the job I do, that if you see certain things, you don't freak out because that's their culture. And so part of the Chinese culture is the lower they bow is the more respect. I should have learned that long ago, right? Because I dated a Chinese girl back then, right?
As I said, back in the days, I had a very beautiful young lady and a beautiful sister too.
Wayne, thank you very much, my brother. Thanks for everything. Have yourself a blessed day. We're going to get in some China Africa and some Creole music right here in TMC, the place to be. My brethren, Wayne Chin.
Seeing you there with your smiling face, in your arms I don't know what's taking place. But I am the one who's gonna get your love, 'cause you are the one girl that I truly love. Girl, it's a feeling. Ooh, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. There you go, you're flirting with all those men. And I don't mind, 'cause girl, I'm gonna win. Yes, I am the one who's gonna win your love, 'cause you are the one, girl, that I truly love. Girl, it's a feeling. Oh, it's a feeling. Ooh, it's a feeling. It's a feeling, yeah. There you go, you're flirting with all those men. And I don't mind, 'cause girl, I'm gonna win. Yes, I'm the one who's gonna win your precious love, 'cause you are the one girl that I truly love. Girl, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. Oh no, it's a feeling. It's a beautiful feeling that I have inside. This love for you, girl, I can't deny. Girl, I want to be your only man. Come on, girl, I want you to understand.
Get that earth, wind, and fire sound right there from where I don't know the boy could take them high note, them, huh?
You wanna wear some?
It's a feeling.
You listen to Burke at Work.
Yeah.
I've lost that love before. Gone mad and I close the door. And you said you tried just once more. And you came and you took control. You touched my very soul. You always show me that loving you is where it's at. You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life.
You came into my life.
The others were untrue, but when it came to loving you, I'd spend my whole life with you, girl. 'Cause you came and you took control. You touched my very soul. You always show me that loving you is where it's at. You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life. I've lost that love before. Gone mad and I close the door. And you said you tried just once more. And you came and you took control. You touched my very soul. You always show me that loving you is where it's at. You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life.
This is Paul Anton.
Dub-wise and not otherwise. From the flick of my musical disc, from the flick of my musical wrist, I bring you another musical disc, like a crisp basket. Yeah. By the way, next week Friday we talk to Oliver Samuels, Real Chat. That's right.
Show me that you made me happy. You made me happy. You came into my life. You came into my life. Whoa,
This is TMC, your online station.
Oh no, 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 no. Oh no. His baby's here. So is his darling dear. His child bears his name. I can't face my friends, I'm so ashamed. And I'm living now. You know that I'm living. Oh no, 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 no. Living now. Oh no. Well, I tried so many times to erase his memories, but everything I do, she still goes.